Guess who just said "I do" in serious style? Demi Lovato is officially off the market, and her walk down the aisle was nothing short of a couture fairy tale. The pop powerhouse tied the knot with longtime love Jordan Jutes Lutes during a dreamy California ceremony this weekend. And yes, she did it in 2 Vivienne Westwood gowns, because one jaw-dropping dress just wasn't enough. Photos from the rehearsal gave us a sneak peek. Demi in glowing white, hand in hand with her soon-to-be husband, flashing huge grins while their wedding planner, Hollywood favorite Mindy Weiss, orchestrated the magic. It looked more like a red carpet than a run-through. But when the big moment arrived, Demi delivered a bridal look worthy of her powerhouse vocals. She told Vogue she's always loved Vivienne Westwood's designs, especially the corsetry and curve-hugging silhouettes. So Demi walked down the aisle in a pearl-white Vivienne Westwood gown made from heavy silk satin. Think high society elegance meets timeless romance. The look featured a structured corset bodice, a romantic off-the-shoulder neckline, and bespoke draped detailing that made the entire moment feel sculpted by a goddess. Inspired by 18th century silhouettes and ancient Greek statues, the A-line skirt was carefully folded and draped to give drama without the fuss. "I've been a fan of Vivienne Westwood's designs for a long time," Demi told Vogue, "and you could feel the love in every stitch." To top it all off, a single-tier cathedral-length veil in soft ivory tulle, sweeping, cinematic, and just the right amount of iconic. But she wasn't done yet. For the reception, Demi pulled off a bridal costume change worthy of the red carpet. She slipped into a second Westwood creation, this time a silk satin column gown with a draped corset and broken pearls cascading from the neckline. The design, called the Audrey, offered a sleek, asymmetrical twist on old Hollywood glamour. "There was so much attention to detail on the reception dress beading," Demi shared. "Each strand of pearls was draped and attached by hand, one by one. It's a one-of-a-kind piece that makes me feel so special." Mission accomplished. The night before, the couple hosted an intimate rehearsal dinner, with star planner Mindy Weiss calling the shots and making sure every flower petal and footstep was in place. After a cozy dinner with friends, family, and their beloved pups, the lovebirds called it an early night, because the next day, it was go time. For Demi, this wasn't just a beautiful wedding, it was a full-circle moment. Because before the custom gowns and fairy tale vows, there were years of heartbreak, public struggles, and a journey to healing that made this happy ending hard-won. After starring in Disney Channel's hit Camp Rock, Demi Lovato became an idol for thousands of teenagers, but the star's life was much darker than those of the characters she played. At only 30 years old, the musician has already battled assault, addiction, and mental health issues, and they have come out of it stronger. Demi Lovato had to face mental health struggles from an early age. The singer told Dr. Phil that they struggled with thoughts of taking their own life from the age of 7, and they have come back at several points during their life. The dark thoughts manifested themselves in harmful behaviors. At one point, the situation became so bad that Demi's mother was afraid to wake me up in the mornings because she didn't know if she opened the door if I'd be alive or not.
Whatever it is you're going through, every single person on this planet is worth life.
Years later, Demi would be diagnosed with bipolar disorder. During childhood, Lovato discovered her love for music and started to learn to sing and play the piano. In 2002, Demi was cast in the family show Barney and Friends, alongside other child actors like Selena Gomez. Lovato's career continued progressing, and they got bigger and bigger roles. By the time she reached middle school, the actor was bullied by her classmates. Years later, Demi told Ellen DeGeneres they didn't understand why they were being bullied at that time, but now they knew it was because they had a different lifestyle. The situation got so bad that Lovato's mother opted for homeschooling. Demi continued their acting career and became famous thanks to the Disney Channel movie Camp Rock, where they played the main character. When the film was released and Lovato became a Disney star, they were just 16 years old.
I listened to my voice with Joe Jonah's voice, and I just cried.
Lovato had finally achieved her dream. They were a star, had a music career, and even their own Disney Channel TV show. However, things weren't easy for the teen idol. At 17, a couple of friends introduced Demi to illegal substances. Soon, Lovato became addicted. They weren't a stranger to substance abuse since her birth father was an addict. Guess I always searched for what he found in drugs and alcohol because it fulfilled him. And he chose that over a family. Demi explained in their documentary Simply Complicated. Over the years, Demi's dependence on substances got worse. While they were only a teen, they would smuggle them on airplanes. Then, they waited until everyone in first class fell asleep and used right there. She had become so good at hiding her addiction that, at one point, the singer had a sober companion that accompanied them 24/7, and she was even able to hide it from that person.
And then living this kind of lie and trying to tell the world I was happy with myself when I really wasn't.
At 19 years old, Lovato realized they had also become an alcoholic. The epiphany happened while they were going to the airport to fly back to a sober house they were staying at. Demi had a soda bottle filled with vodka and was throwing up at 9 in the morning. I had a moment where I was like, oh my God, that is alcoholic behavior. I gotta get my Sunuxin together, the star told Access Hollywood. In 2010, Demi went on several tours, one of them with the Jonas Brothers. However, a physical altercation with a female backup dancer proved to be the musician's breaking point. I just went up to her, and it was like a blur. Lovato confesses in their documentary. All they did at the time was text their mom, "I'm sorry." After the incident, the singer entered a treatment center. Lovato's rep wrote a statement saying that they had decided to take responsibility for their actions and seek help.
The world has been so loving and accepting of me telling my story, and just, there's been so much love and support.
At the treatment center, Demi did not only treat their addiction, they were finally able to confront their eating disorder. Lovato had struggled with disordered eating since they were 8 or 9. Demi later realized that their mom, Diana, had also struggled with disordered eating for many years. A lot of what Demi went through with an eating disorder had to do with what she had seen growing up, Diana confessed. Treating these disorders together allowed Demi and her mother to become closer. While in the center, Demi was also diagnosed with bipolar disorder and was able to find help. Years after leaving rehab, Lovato partnered up with an initiative consisting of 5 mental health organizations called Be Vocal, Speak Up for Mental Health, to encourage others to talk about mental health with their doctors, families, and support systems. She also talked to Women's Health about why they went public, saying, "I could either not talk about my stint in rehab and hope that it went away, or I could talk about it and inspire people to get help for their issues." After leaving the treatment center, Demi stayed sober for years. They continued making albums and focusing on their career. The pressure began building up and got to Lovato, who focused on dieting and having the body that was expected of a pop star. I wasn't confident at all. I had a false confidence because I was conforming to everybody else's ideals, the musician revealed to Glamour magazine. The singer felt miserable. They tried seeking help and telling people on their team about their concerns, but were just told they were being selfish. In 2018, Demi released the song Sober, in which they revealed they had relapsed.
Oh God, that's another one. It's just never left me.
Only weeks later, they were hospitalized. It was a near-death experience, with doctors telling Lovato they only had between 5 and 10 minutes left when they were found by their assistant. In their YouTube docu-series, Demi Lovato Dancing with the Devil, the star revealed they had 3 strokes, multiple organ failure, and a heart attack because of the overdose. The strokes led to brain damage, so the singer can't drive anymore and has blurry spots in their vision. It was already a traumatic experience, but the horror didn't stop there. Demi's dealer took advantage of their state, then he left them for dead. When Lovato woke up in the hospital, they were asked if they had consensual relations that night. Initially, Demi said yes. It wasn't until about a month later when they realized they weren't in a state of mind that allowed them to make a decision. Sadly, in their docu-series, Lovato reveals that it wasn't the first time they had suffered from that kind of trauma. When they were a teenager on Disney Channel, Demi had been hooking up with someone but had made it clear they weren't ready to lose their virginity. Then that person forced themselves on Demi. "I had to see this person all the time, so I stopped eating and coped in other ways," the singer revealed. Lovato decided to speak up and tell adults about what had happened. However, no actions were taken. They never got taken out of the movie they were in, Demi said. After the overdose, the singer spent 90 days in a treatment center and stayed at a sober living facility. They also bought a new house and moved in with a friend, leaving the dark memories behind. The singer signed with new management and began meditating. At the time, Demi thought that complete sobriety didn't work for them and did a bit of pot and alcohol. "Shutting the door on things makes me want to open the door even more," they confessed.
I can never have a drink or smoke marijuana. Like, I feel like that's setting myself up for failure.
However, this method proved not to be effective, and in late 2021, they completed a rehab stint and became 100% sober. After exiting rehab, Demi made their last album, Holy F***. In some of the songs, like Skin of My Teeth, they talk about their sobriety journey with lyrics like, "Demi leaves rehab again. When is this gonna end?" The singer revealed that they made the album while completely sober, which makes them immensely proud. Demi has found a way to use their past struggles to help others and isn't afraid to speak up about their sobriety to raise awareness. The musician has also contemplated their own past and identity. Lovato began labeling themselves as pansexual, meaning they could be attracted to any person without taking their gender into account. In 2021, they announced on Twitter that they identified as non-binary. "I will officially be changing my pronouns to they, them moving forward," Demi said.
I don't identify as just a woman or just a man, and I identify as both.
The singer revealed that they had come to understand their gender identity after doing some healing and self-reflective work. They also said they wanted to make it public for those who couldn't share who they truly were with their loved ones. Lovato has also reflected on past relationships and even spoke up about a situation that happened when they were in their teens. When Demi was a teenager, they began dating 29-year-old actor Wilder Valderrama. The couple dated for 6 years, and Wilmer supported Demi through their sobriety journey. For a long time, the singer only had good things to say about their ex-partner. "I've never loved anybody like I loved Wilmer," they said in their 2017 documentary. However, the star seems to have changed their mind about the relationship. In August 2022, Demi released the song 29, where they talk about being 17 and dating a 29-year-old. In the song, Lovato explains that now that she is 29, dating a 17-year-old would never cross her mind. Although they don't name the actor, they also criticize his 12-year age gap with his current partner. When asked about the song, Demi didn't confirm who it was about, saying, "I feel like the song says it all." They also revealed they had a ton of anxiety about releasing it. On Jamila Jamil's podcast, Demi also explained that they've learned to let go of people fully, and that being friends with exes isn't always healthy. Although the singer has faced many struggles, it seems like they have been able to come out of them stronger. Through it all, Demi has stayed true to who they are and has never shied away from talking about their issues to help others. Here at Rumour Juice, we wish the singer the best in their journey.